Hello everyone, welcome back to a new YouTube cast. Today we're going to be having a look at a best of 3 played between, in the bottom right spawning as the blue Terran, Mr. Bunny playing for Team Envy, and top left as the red Protoss it's going to be Patience. Who has a Korean name. I'm gonna guess it's just a clan and not a team. Not quite sure what team Patient plays for currently. All I do know is that he's gateway scouting across the map, making sure that he figures out what his opponent Bunny is doing. As I turn on the music real fast. Nice to have some of those sweet StarCraft tunes in the background. Now we had a barracks first here coming out of Bunny, who tends to be a rather standard player up until the 7-minute mark and then starts dropping like his life depends on it. Extremely aggressive drop, slightly risky. They sometimes seem a little bit reckless and without thought, which is why Bunny used to be referred to as the brick, the original brick. He was one of the first one who introduced brick moves, where he just go no matter what he see. So he'd scan, see 8 stalkers flying with 4 medevacts, lose 2 of them, and it's like, well, that's a bit of a brick move. So that's why Bunny was the OB, the original brick. Ever since, and this is 2 years ago, I think, since we introduced the term brick in the StarCraft 2 vocabulary, he's become a lot more standard, I think. But sometimes, when the moon is right and he's feeling it, you know, he's feeling some itches in his bones, and he's like, all right, it's time to go again. Ooh, this SCV is moving in an interesting way. This is feeling a lot like a proxy starport. Could be over here. I love this position for a proxy starport. Now the reason for that is that TOS is never going to scout up here for a proxy starport. It feels very far away, but actually it's just as close as here. Well, this is a lot more exposed. So we're going to be seeing these two swap. Yeah, we're going to see 4 Hellion drop with a proxy starport. Now this is going to hit about, I want to say with this positioning, maybe 403, 405 into the natural most likely. Could also fly to the third into the main, but I mean that feels slightly further. Another nice thing about proxy starport is that it's so common to just aim for the main base that a lot of TOS blindly start positioning their units into the main base. Now, we have a Twilight Council coming up. Was this Sentry first? This is absolutely beautiful. I like this against Marine first, actually. I never really considered that, but I almost always just open with an adapt. But why not Sentry first? Sentry first does just make a lot of sense against Marine first, because you know there's not going to be anything on the other side of the map. It's going to be a very fast scout here. I'm not sure why he waits so long with it. I guess he wants to see the first unit that pops out of matter. He's just kind of straight up. Is he going to fight it? I think he gets the cars. He sees 4 cars. Ah, this is beautiful for him. This is truly amazing. I mean, he gets to see the complete movement of these cars. Now there is a battery a little bit too far. I have no clue what this battery really is protecting. I guess just this mineral line, but move it 1 or 2 blocks to the right and you're also defending the unit in the wall. Now, we see the goal of Bunny here is probably to run out this hallucination and move towards the natural. And try to drop there. We see Patience is going to go straight into 4 gas. Robotics facility might just go into 2 base Colossi, actually. Yeah, this is rather obvious. You see, this is good probe movement as well, making sure that nothing happens into the main base. Here come the Hellions, who won't be able to drop 3 Stalkers and a Sentry in position already. Bunny's going to try another time, going towards the edge here. We don't see a Robo Bay yet, but I'd be very surprised to not see a Robo Bay after we see a Nexus, or maybe even slightly before. Now, this movement here needs to move it a little bit, man. Patience has the game sense of an absolute possum. Possums have very good game sense, by the way. It's not an insult. Patience actually looking for that starport. You see that? It's like, maybe he's still building Banshees. No, he's not. Now, he might actually be able to find this. Ooh, they barely miss each other. Big deal, big deal. Would have been nice for Patience to get a couple extra shots on that medevac. He still needs to be careful. The Patience movement is very, very good this game. He's hitting all the right angles right here. This is weird to fly into the vision of the pylon. You almost always know there's going to be a pylon here. He's going to go towards the top side. One of them is using a DVA announcer. Diva announcer. We see a forge. There's a Robo Bay, right? So late. 530 row away, almost a minute later than you'd expect it if you take no damage, but I guess higher Stalker count does that to a man. There is Blink, blinks forward, gets the medevac with the 4 Hellions. Good start here for Patience, huh? I guess he cancelled 2 buildings because he lost 0 units with 50. I guess he cancelled a pylon twice, perhaps in the wall. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now he actually has a decent counter-attack as well. He has 11 Stalkers. If he uses all of them, which I believe he is, he can actually one-shot tanks. 11 Stalkers is just enough to one-shot a tank, which is a pretty big deal if you ask me. We see a scan actually reveals that there is Stalkers as well. These Marines are in a fine position. I mean, there's 3 tanks, right? What is Patience can't really blink in. I think 2 tanks, you can snipe 1, run away, but 3 tanks, you're just gonna lose 3-4 Stalkers for free, which isn't great. I'm surprised you're not seeing any extra defense being put in this area. This is a very dangerous area for Terran very often. This is insane observer movement, by the way. It's very, really quite interesting. I don't really see these positions being taken very often. They seem random, but I mean, this is just bad. Like, if you put it over here, you just have more vision, right? Like, he's wasting a lot of the left side vision into an area which isn't even on the map. If there were 2 maps next to each other, you'd be able to see a bit of the right side of the other map. That's what that observer is doing, but it's completely useless at this point. Now some good Stalker micro. I mean, he's picking off units left, right and center. Stim, combat shield not done yet. Neither is concussive shell. I'm not quite sure why Bunny even was on the map. Perhaps he wants to clear some of the vision of Patience, if that was his goal. He semi-succeeded. There's still a lot of vision with these observers. I like these two. I think they're in positions where Terran's never gonna scan. Even this. I mean, it's way more common for TOS to have it up here than to have it here. And you're also scanning, they're seeing a lot of this probe. I mean, this observer should be covering this entire side. This is the one mistake, the one thing I dislike. But Patience's vision is absolutely fantastic. Look at that. He's looking for drops right now. He's like, okay, maybe you're moving out with two medevacs towards that right side. Meanwhile, we see Bunny having a semi-wall. Continuing tank production, by the way. Armory going down. Is he on double eBay? Yes, he is. So we're gonna see a little bit of a boost there in the upgrades. Going up to 3 Colossi is Patience. 131 supply against 131 dead even right now. Even though Patience start felt really good. Bunny's been so passive ever since that sometimes it feels double expand. I like that. I was gonna say sometimes it feels like you need to just go harder on eco, and the double expand really does indicate that Patience understands what's going on. Even though he hasn't really seen that much, he somehow figured out that there's a lot of tanks, or that there's at least a very passive Bunny here. Second factory, maybe even a third factory could go down. We have seen it before. A couple of tanks are going to move forward. 2 tanks remain here. Sensor tower going down. Now this is a relatively easy map to defend. That left side on this really is not an easy rotation for the Protoss here, right? Like you need to walk all the way around because this is kind of a dead area as well. Just gonna die, yeah. Most people could have seen that coming. 2 disruptors on the way as well as drilling claws. All right, drilling claws for Bunny. Now this is odd in that I guess he's gonna go do like late game mine drops. I'm not a massive fan of it, honestly. 6th base immediately as well. We're seeing 87 workers right now. I love that. I'm a big fan of this. I'm a big fan of these high worker counts. 90, 92, 93. Never go above 100, but 92, 93, and then just having a very high-paced army trying to make things happen is kind of the goal. And a lot of the time you can't really make things happen as long as your opponent is on those 4 bases. But once they try to take a 5th, bang, it's time to go. You got your DT squad, you got your army, perhaps you have some 1 or 2 prisms even with speed, which could always be very useful. And then you just try to do things. Like that's really just the trick. Another observer gets pushed backwards here. 1 marauder goes down. 4, that's a bit of a patient blink. That's 3 marauders total. It's a mine as well. This army moves to the left side. What's he gonna do here? I guess gonna catch Patience out of position. Surprises me. So observer speed, double observers on the way. Gonna go up to 6 observers total. 4 disruptors are on the map, and Shadow Stride, or also known as the DT blink, almost finished. I like this movement by Bunny, having 2 armies and then this strong defense with these 7 tanks that he has. I wonder what he's gonna do with these mines. I mean, he needs to start dropping them. You can't just walk them around the map, right? I like this move. This is a dead base, right? this is a dead base or this is... Ooh, good split here by Patience. It's actually going to be able to get both these medevacs. It doesn't have any detection, so this will live. For now, 6 workers going down. Good disruptor shot takes out one of the mines here on the bottom side. What else do we see here? 11, 12, 14, 15, 16 workers going down. Patience has plenty of money to replenish and 6 Nexi, so it's going to take him about 30 seconds to get all those workers back. We see big worker production coming back in. 2-2 already done though for Bunny, and 3-3 hasn't started yet. He's getting plating rather than +2. I'm extremely surprised. I guess for the battle cruisers, but then you'd say just get ship weapons, no? Fusion core, double star. It could be Lips, it could also be battle cruiser. I've seen battle cruisers being used a lot more recently, especially with this type of setup, but I don't understand the vehicle plating in this case. Okay, it's gonna be ship weapons. Could still be Lips as well. High mine count, and absolutely not being used in drop, just used around the map as tools for the Terran to try and gain some map control, but I mean, against 5 observers, I have a feeling this doesn't work that well. Okay, it's gonna be lib range, which is fine. I would have loved to see some battle cruisers though. Instead, we're gonna see a couple of Vikings being started. There's not a single tank here anymore. 5th base. This is kind of the time where I say, all right, now it's really time to do something if you're patient with your eco lead, because once these 5 bases get set up, you're going to be in a bit of trouble, even if you have 7 bases, because the army of the Terran at this point is going to start evolving and get so much better than yours. And it's that disruption. That was awful. 2 more mines managed to shoot before they get detonated on by a disruptor. Tanks slowly moving forward. There's 3-4 tanks here, but I don't really think this push is... It's a suicide push, it feels like. Zealots do get cleaned up. 11 workers go down. A bunch of disruptors fall as well. I feel like any trade that is semi-efficient here is going to be good for Patience. Bunny's really looking for more cost-efficient trades as he is lower in the worker count. That doesn't mean he necessarily has lower income. In this game it actually does mean that. A lot of the time we see Terrans, of course, with 4 or 5 extra command centers. Right now we only have 4 orbital commands here. So not the highest income yet, and very good worker spread coming out of Patience. Yes. A really weird setup. Some bases only have 8-9 workers, others have like 10, 15, but not that much gas income actually. Still more than Bunny, but he's not really fully mining from all the gases from what I've seen. Oh, as I say that, he starts moving into the gas more. Should drop a little bit in his mineral income. Yeah, it drops in mineral income by 600-700. More disruptors coming out. We have 2 prisms here. Prism speed is done now. There's a trick you can do with prisms. It's just fly through 2 turrets. If you have a double prism, one of them will be able to get in. That's just the way it is. Some things will never change. 2 stocks being blunkered back. This is a good game so far by Page. I've really been enjoying this. Bunny's trying to make things work, but a lot of his supply every single time is just tied up into these defensive units. And when that's the case, it just becomes so much harder to do damage against someone that is consistently investing in map control, either through these observers or having units spread in the middle of the map. Here we see a bunch of DTs with blink. It's gonna blink in. I'm not a fan of that. Good, it's gonna blink out. I much prefer that move. Now we're gonna see an interesting rotation coming out of Patience here. This blink is not off cooldown yet. He's just gonna walk in. It's gonna take 1 shot to the face. Blinks in. This made absolutely I guess it distracts his opponents. Zealots are moving forward, gonna be able to take out 1 tank. 2nd tank will go down soon as well. 4 Lips being taken out almost immediately. Colossi going to town on these SCVs as well, so good trades here for Patience. These DTs are trying to make something work, but there's only 7, 8 left, 7 left. The 7th base is gonna fall, but it's 5 base against 7, so if you trade 1 for 1, that's usually gonna be good for the guy with more bases. Especially if he's getting semi-cost efficient trades. He's getting cost efficient trades, not just semi-cost efficient trades. We're seeing a recall on this army. I like that. He can just instantly rebuild this base. I guess Bunny also has a base for himself. Now this mine should be taken out. Those DTs were used incorrectly, I feel like. I like that he's rebuilding them though. Where are they? 12 on the left side, gonna be moving over here. I think just 1 DT would do fine. And we see some moves, some forward thinking here. by Patience, trying to force a lot of the defense to be here on the top side and maybe go in between the bases while the DTs march forward. It's going to be a planetary. I almost feel like he should wait until it's done morphing. Instead, he starts immediately attacking. Let's see how fast Bunny is with responding. Seems to be fast enough for now. These DTs are going in even further, but we're going to actually get a command center there. He blinks on top of it. It's going to get a pretty decent trade here. This isn't... I was like, man, that's a terrible blink, and then it worked. Meanwhile, he's moving forward. This is a good game by Patience. He's right-clicking turrets as well. 13 workers have gone down. 14 workers have gone down. 2 DTs attacking these factories as well. Oi, 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 oi. Blinks out. And we have 129 against 196 supply right now. This is looking extremely good for Patience, who sometimes still does really weird moves, like the blink into his own disruptor shot, but in general, he's actually been playing a super sick game, like really, really quite fantastic. Up in way more cost efficient, up in units lost, and his movement, his map control, his understanding of the game and what type of composition he needs has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a treat to watch. Now, there's a couple of things I didn't like too much out of Bunny, like throwing away the tanks like he did, the slowness of the transition into his air, and then the way he used those air units didn't feel absolutely optimal, but also, I don't still understand the vehicle plating upgrade over the ship weapons, because once you get +2 ship weapons, these lips start doing so much damage to stalkers, just two-shotting them. So, yeet, you know, like what can I say? It's much more important to get ship weapons upgrade than get +1 plating. That really influences these trades a lot more, in my opinion. Now, here Patience is going to move forward. I mean, there's still 7 DT blinkers. Looking for a base, like, well, you don't even have a base. I guess I can just kind of sit back. Seeing a nuke being landed here on the left side. Patience not even looking for it. He doesn't give a crap. 2 Colossi actually going to walk into it. Nuke hits, but actually this is not a good trade for Patience at all. Army supply is slightly in favor of Bunny. There's not that much money here either. 2 Colossi, but no Medivacs whatsoever. Ah, Medivacs slightly too far behind. 1 Colossi goes down immediately. Only Stalker left against a pure bio army. There's a lot of Stalker and there's so much income here for Patience, which Bunny just doesn't have. I feel like even if this base goes down and he loses all of his probes, he still should be fine. 5 DTs being warped and we'll be able to blink on top of this. More Stalkers being warped in as well. Here comes the blink. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely fine. This is a big F2 move here, as we see the 2 prisms come back home as well. And I think this is truly going to be it. As Patience blinks forward, the final Medivacs go down and the income difference is just a little bit too big. Couple of scans going down here for Bunny. Sees that there's still 7 bases against, well, what's essentially 1 mining base or 1.5 mining base, and he taps out. Game number 1 goes to Patience. Alright friends, welcome back to game number 2 between Patience and Bunny. You see Patience up 1-0 in this best of 3. See Bunny not opening up with anything special here. Could still be an eBay block if he sends his worker across the map right now. Doesn't seem to be the case though, and we're gonna be going into a very standard game. I'm surprised to not see any type of eBay block here, especially after that last game. I feel like you might want to change something up being Bunny. Pull a rabbit out of your hat. But it seems like Bunny's hat is empty already, as we're going to be seeing a very similar opener once again, with a barracks first into gas, and then most likely just... Actually, it could be a marine once again. We could be seeing something tricky. This was a barracks first, right? Yeah, this looks like a barracks first. SCV Scout at 19 is going to be able... Oh, I said SCV Scout at 19. It's going to be able to see that probe come in. And hopefully from there we'll be able to see that everything Patience is doing is absolutely normal. As Patience throws down his Nexus after the Cybercore. We see the Reaper coming out here for Bunny. So no Marine first. Tech is going to be a little bit delayed because of that, but he's going to get better information. You know, I feel like last game, the early game, even though he lost these Hellions, I guess he didn't really have any aggressive opportunities and he just went straight into that very passive style. But I didn't mind it too much. I thought his position was absolutely fine, despite his pretty bad start. Felt like Patience didn't really pounce on that opportunity to build a lot of probes. Now we see this Reaper coming out. And we see the SCV return back home. Factory being built right here for Bunny. He's also getting a Marine. Of course, Marine should be able to shoo away this probe. Might even be able to get a kill here if Patience isn't quick enough. Patience is going to go for the single hit on the Marine. Now, this might look a little bit silly. And it is a little bit silly. But what it does do is that Adepts will be able to two-shot that Marine at this point. And so will Oracle. So I think he needs to chase this. Yeah, it's good. This is not a wall. Patience, what is this? What is this wall? This is the worst wall I've seen in my life. This is way too far. You can just build it here. Like one to the bottom, one to the left. Would have been absolutely fine. Yeah, this is a terrible wall. And I kind of want to blame Patience for that. Because, you know, he's the one who built it. We see a pylon here. This could be a very old school build. Now. No? This is the dumbest size. What? There's no way this works, right? This is the most exposed position I've seen in my life. Yeah, Stalker's gonna move over here. Gonna try to deny basically everything. 2 mine drop. No, it's gonna be a 3 mine drop actually. I thought there was a Hellion already, but there's no Hellion, so it's gonna be a triple mine drop or 2 mine drop into Tech Lab is also technically possible, but really not that common. Most of the time we are seeing those triple mine drops. He's gonna get 4. I think that's a miss. Yeah, it's a misclick. That definitely was a misclick. It's actually going to be walking into a little bit of a supply block here, which surprises me. 46 out of 46. Armory is going to come down, so it's going to be these mines with that cloak once they burrow. Once the armory finishes, of course. I wonder if he's going to continue building mines and medevacs or go into Tech Lab here. Okay, this is still going to be Tech Lab. Now this could be Tank Raven triple CC, or this could be Barracks. Actually, if it's Barracks, I feel like he should have built the Barracks faster. This looks a lot like a 3rd CC. And here comes the SCV. He's going to be building the 3rd CC. With a 3rd CC, I wouldn't have minded a second medevac though. Here come 2 DTs. We'll try to run into the main and the natural, respectively. First one goes into the main, second one goes into the natural. Let's have a look at that movement. And at the same time, of course, Bunny is trying to push into the main base of his opponent. Let's see, no lift of the depot. 443 is the timing. As both players hit each other straight in the face. As Mike Tyson once said, everyone is prepared until you get punched in the face. It seems like Patience got punched a little less hard, as he only lost 5 workers. We see 11, 12, 13 workers going down. Not only that though, I feel like a couple of Marines have fallen here as well. 4 Marines have gone down already. Scan gets used. This game is, I don't want to say it's over, but it's looking really, really rough here for Bunny. Who has no scans available, has a Raven, so he's eventually going to clean this up, but not before he's going to lose at least a couple more Marines and a bunch more SCVs. It's just awful. What is Patience follow-up? Patience like, alright, this was fun. You know what's more fun? 4 gateways. And he's actually going to follow this up with Gateway. I wouldn't be surprised to see Blink either. Cyclone is on the map, but Cyclone doesn't do much against Blink Stalkers. He's actually going to 6 gate. 7? What is this? I've never seen this in my life as a follow-up. It's 6 gate with a forge, and then he goes into a nexus. Talk to me, Patience. What are we doing here? 2 more DTs? That's for an Archon. No, she's gonna drop straight into the main base. Cyclone's gonna go to the main. I mean, this seems ridiculous. He's gonna lose. No, he's not gonna lose this. For a second, I thought there might be a chance, but no. Cyclones aren't that great. Now this Reaper's gonna scout a 3rd base, and then be like, oh, it seems pretty safe. And then Patience should be hitting really hard, right? I mean, right? I feel like he should just, or he will just warp in another DT and then get 2 Archons, move across the map with like 12 Stalkers and win the game. I mean, once Blink finishes, what really is there here? There's a single tank, 2nd tank is on the way, 2nd barracks coming down only now. Blink is gonna be finished before Stim even starts. Which actually isn't that odd, but I figured I'd just tell you guys. +1 is gonna finish a lot before the one, or, well, a lot before the other upgrades finish. So there's gonna be quite a timing window here. The production of Bunny is looking absolutely pathetic. We have 6 more Stalkers being warped in. We'll be going up to 14. All of these Stalkers being warped in into this random pylon. these Archons are doing a good job damaging these Marines. And now, I mean, the rest of the Stalkers join in. It's like, ta-da! Tank gets unsieged, moves forward. There's one more tank in the back, but I mean, this is one more blink forward, removed from dying as well. There we go. 2 shots get fired. Prism is still alive. Cyclone's still alive, but if it can't reach the prison, it's going to be absolutely useless. Blink into the main base. 6 more Stalkers being warped in. +1 hasn't even finished yet, but will it matter? No, it won't. Patience moves in, cleans up, tells Bunny to leave the game because 31 more workers will fall. Adding on to the early guns, 50 workers falling in a 7-minute and 45-second game. GG gets called as Patience. It's 2-0. Now I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll hopefully see you all next time. Bye bye.